are finally here. The last week, the climax. There is no telling what's going to happen. Will Dusty and Dallas make it, or will they get foiled by that bandit? We will see today. But before we do that, let's get warmed up one last time. We're going to be headed out west with our theme song. Loosen up a little bit, and let's sing.
Hey there, how do you do? We're headed out west, but we're waiting on you. Kick up your boots and join the fun. Just follow along, watch how it's done. We're headed out west, and we're all in this together. Giddy up, partner, it's time to go. We're headed out west like birds of a feather. Come on, get up, it's time to go. Do-si-do and howdy hi, saddle up, it's time to ride. Get on your feet, lickety-split, stomp your boots and just don't quit. We're headed out west and we're all in this together. Giddy up, partner, it's time to go. We're headed out west like birds of a feather. Come on, get up, it's time to go. Spin your lasso round and round. Come on, partner, let's get down. Nowhere else we'd rather be. Come on and holler, repeat after me. Yee-haw! 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 We're headed out west and we're all in this together. Giddy up, partner, it's time to go. We're headed out west like birds of a feather. Come on, get up, it's time to go. We're headed out west and we're all in this together. Giddy up, partner, it's time to go. We're headed out west like birds of a feather. Come on, get up, it's time to go. Come on, get up, it's time to go.
Woo-wee! We are good and loose now. Now, our lesson for today talks about how God has a purpose for our lives. There's someone we've been looking at in the last 8 weeks by the name of Moses. And you know what? God had a specific plan and purpose for Moses. And he also, I think, had a specific plan for Dusty and Dallas in our story. So let's see how God's plan is working out in their lives. Check it out.
Man, this place is a gold miner's dream. Take a look at these. Hey, what you hobbling for? What you hobbling around here for?
Buck Rowdy got me. I went to the general store, and as I turned around and to get some more supplies, you know, and the way I was looking around, that weasel tied me up. It's rope to the barrel to my feet. And as soon as I turned around, he pulled it tight. And I fell straight into a giant barrel of apples.
What a mess. I bet that storekeeper wasn't too happy, huh?
Oh, it gets worse. So that barrel of apples I knocked off the shelf, I knocked over a jar of hot sauce.
And the jars fell off the shelf.
Well, sure did. Fell on top of a coop of live chickens sitting right there in the middle of the store. Let's just say, I sure hope folks in Tumwick Canyon like their chicken a little spicy.
Did you see which way Buck Rowdy went? I mean, maybe we can find him.
No, he got out of Dodge real quick after that. but he left me this threatening note right here.
Oh, for real? What does it say?
You two might have made it to Tumbleweed Canyon, but I won't let you get back to Rowdy Town. Surrender now, or I can promise it'll blow up in your faces. You've been warned.
Well, what do you think that means?
If I had to guess, he planted this note for me to find, but I don't think he meant for us to find this telegram that was stuck to it.
Let's see.
Buck, how could you let them make it to Tumbleweed Canyon? I'm shipping 2 extra crates of dynamite to you. Take care of it once and for all. You better make sure they don't get back to Rowdy Town, or you'll be the one who pays.
So I guess Buck's pretty serious when he says it'll blow up in our faces if we don't surrender now.
Man, we got to get out of Tumbleweed Canyon before that dynamite gets here and we go out with a bang.
I know we gotta go soon, but Dallas, I can't go like this. My ankle's all twisted up, it's all busted up.
But we don't have a choice. How about you just run over to the doc's office, see if he can wrap it up real tight or something?
All right, I'll go find him and see what he can do.
Good. And I'll take this gold up to the bank and cash it in so we'll have some money for the trip back to Rowdy Town.
Did you find a lot of it? Is there enough for all the folks in Rowdy Town too?
Listen, there's more than enough for everyone, and it's the real deal. Now you need to skedaddle on over to the doc's office. We got to get going soon.
All right, I'm going. Hey, hey Dallas.
Yes?
Try to pick up a copy of the Tumbleweed Times on your way back to the bank. I read an article in it this morning. I think you might need to see it a little later.
Sure thing.
That Buck Rowdy, who's he think he is?
So, what'd the doc say? What's the verdict? Well, look at you. Fit as fiddle. Looks like it to me, right?
Not exactly. The doc said I got.
Oh, good. He even gave you some medicine to put on it for a trip back to Rowdy Town. I see that.
No, Dallas. The doc said my ankle's all busted up. There's no way I can make it back to Rowdy Town with you.
I mean, you have to. I just can't go back there by myself.
You've turned into quite a traveling ranger since we've been together out on this trail. You're ready for this. I know you are.
Listen, you sure you didn't hit your head when you fell too?
Not that I know of. Why?
Listen, because you ain't thinking straight. I'm not meant for life on the trail by myself. And even if somehow I make it back to Rowdy Town, I can't lead all the folks out here on my own. Now, how about I just give you a piggyback ride? You what? Come on, man.
No.
All right,
no
ready.
way.
Hop on. Let's go.
You wouldn't even carry the satchel of supplies half the time we're out there. You can't carry me all the way back.
All right. Good point. What if I just stay here and if they, see if they need any deputies? That's fine.
Now, why in tarnation would you want to do that? You don't have time.
Because I'm just thinking that maybe you've been wrong this whole time about my purpose, being here to save the folks of Rowdy Town. Maybe I'm just supposed to stay here and protect the people of Tumbleweed Canyon instead.
Well, you can't go and try to be a deputy here.
Well, it'd be just so much easier, and I wouldn't have to face Mayor Rowdy.
I think I know something just might change your mind on this. Can I show you what I saw in this here newspaper?
Yeah, here you go. I don't know. But I already read it, and I don't even see why you want to tell me about the new store they're building here for selling gold cowboy hats.
Not that story. This one.
God's plan and Moses' purpose. God had a plan and a purpose for Moses' life. And, well, this was obvious from the very start. When Moses was born, Pharaoh was making a rule that all the new baby boys had to be thrown into the Nile River. But instead of getting tossed into the river, Moses' mama put him in a basket and placed it in the tall grass that grew along the bank of the river. Wouldn't you know it, at that moment, Pharaoh's daughter came on down to the river to take a bath. Well, she saw little old baby Moses and raised him as her very own son. Moses grew up in the Pharaoh's house, living the life of luxury. Well, one day he was just a-walking along when he saw an Egyptian man mistreating a Hebrew slave. Moses took matters into his own hands to protect the Hebrew man. And when Pharaoh found out what Moses had done, he was angry as an old mule. So Moses hightailed it out of Egypt and went to live with his people in a place called Midian. Moses got married, and I guess he figured his purpose was just to watch his father-in-law's sheep. But God had other plans in mind. All the while, God's people, the Israelites, worked as slaves for the Egyptians. They cried out to God for help, and God heard them. God spoke to Moses through a burning bush and told him that he had a special purpose for his life. He chose Moses to lead the Israelites to the land that he had promised them. While Moses was leading the Israelites to the promised land, they had quite the adventure along the way. God fed the Israelites bread from the sky when they were hungry. When they were thirsty, God had Moses strike a rock for water. When things weren't going quite right, God also sent the 10 Commandments to show them how to live their lives on the straight and narrow. In the end, God came through on every promise. The Israelites were finally free from those Egyptians. They were no longer stuck in the desert, and they were on the edge of heading into the land God had told them about all along. At the end of Moses' life, God allowed him to see that special land from a distance. It was better than a city of gold. When you look back at Moses' life, it's pretty clear that God had a purpose in everything he did. Moses could have had a life of royalty, living it up in the palace with the Egyptians. But no, God saw fit to use him in ways he could have never dreamed up. Instead of doing his own thing, Moses listened to God and did what he said. By obeying God and trusting in God's plan for his life, God used Moses to lead the Israelites out of Egypt and to the land that God had promised them. Just like God had a purpose for Moses' life, he has a purpose for each one of our lives too.
Now, don't you see? Moses could have stayed in Pharaoh's palace and lived a life of riches and royalty. But he didn't do it. Even though it was hard and uncomfortable at times, he knew God had a purpose for his life. And for the most part, he obeyed the things that God told him to do. I know it's easier for you to just stay right here and try to be a deputy at Tumbleweed Canyon. But you can't give up the purpose that God made you for, to help the people of Rowdy Town. And if you give up, you'll never experience great things God has in store for you in your life.
Yeah, I guess that Moses faced some pretty hard things sometimes, but he never gave up. Well, I know you're right. It's my purpose to save the folks of Rowdy Town, and by golly, I'm going to do it. I got to.
I knew you'd come around. All right, we got to get you on your way before Buck Rowdy lights the dynamite on his. He's ready for it.
Miss, I'm going to put a stop to Mayor Rowdy shenanigans once and for all.
Oh, I sure hope this is from Dallas. Oh boy, yes sir, looky here. Dusty, we finally made it to our final stop here at Dead Man's Fork. It sure has been a long trip way out west, and we've had our fair share of setbacks. But I just keep reminding all the folks, all the things we kept learning on our first journey out west, and God is with us, and He'll take care of us, and that He's got a special purpose for all our lives. Now we should be arriving around high noon on the 26th. Can't wait to hug your neck and show everybody all that Tumbleweed has to offer. Signed, Dallas. P.S. Boots and Juddy say howdy from Dead Man's Fork. That's some good folks right there. Ah, boy. The 26th. I reckon that's today. I bet they're crossing Amarillo Valley as we speak.
Dusty, is that you?
Of course it's me. Man, it is good to see ya. Oh, ain't gonna lie. You smell like you've been out on the trail for quite some time now. Woo!
It was quite an adventure bringing all the folks back from Rowdy Town way out west. But they're really excited to be here.
Man, I can't wait to see everybody. Where'd they all go?
Oh, they're off just exploring the town. I mean, speaking of gold, looks like you're fitting in quite nicely around these parts. I'd never seen such a fancy hat you had on earlier. I know you don't want to wear it now.
I don't wear it outside much.
That's right.
I thank you very much. The mayor around here gave it to me, said he wanted me to know the folks here are plumb excited to have me around.
Well, I'll be. Do you think he's going to feel the same way about all the people of Rowdy Town being here too?
I surely do.
I mean, how come you're so confident?
Cause while you were gone, I told the mayor all the folks at Tumbleweed Canyon about how you had gone back to rescue everybody from old Mayor Rowdy himself.
And what did they say?
They had welcomed as many people in this town that came, and even gave us a hunk of land over on the other edge of the side of town over yonder. It's called Golden Village.
Oh man, I can't wait to see it.
Oh, there's one more. Guess who they named as sheriff of Golden Village?
Who?
Who else but you? And he made a badge officially for you. You got your own badge for this town right here, for Golden Village now.
I mean, is this real? Good golly, the mayor sure does sound nicer than Mayor Rowdy.
Oh yeah, Mayor Rowdy. Was he real mad when you came out to get everybody?
Hold on here, let me do this. You won't believe it. Apparently, after we all left, he got so greedy that he started stealing extra money from the railroad tycoon, Harry Morgan. So much that he got locked up in the town jail.
Now that's a real knee slapper right there.
Yeah.
Got what he deserved.
Yeah. I mean, I can sleep easier knowing that he's in jail now. But hey, what happened to Buck? Did he ever try to set off that dynamite he had?
Oh, he set it off all right.
What do you mean?
Well, here's what happened. It happened a few days after you set out for Rowdy Town. I saved the article so you could see it yourself.
All right.
This'll get him. Whoa! That's it. It just ain't worth getting blown to pieces. Sorry, Dad. I quit.
Looks like Buck was the one that went out with a bang, huh?
Yes, sir. I thought you might get a kick out of that right there.
Listen, that sneaky bandit got what he had coming to him. Sure does feel good to be back here in Tumbleweed Canyon.
Yep.
Oh,
whoa, Miss Nellie. Oh, I almost forgot about that off-key singing of her. Woo! Woo!
Listen, I got some stale biscuits in the bag here to plug in your ears if you need them.
Listen, just don't let her know they taking auditions over there at the town theater.
Well, everybody's got a purpose in this town.
Well, okay.
Oh, man.
Well, I just love me a happy ending. And you know what? It looks like Dusty and Dallas were able to follow God's plan for their lives. And as you can see, like we talked about last week, God has a great plan for you and God wants to help you. Look at what is going on when we follow what God wants to do in our lives. Now, here's what I want you to remember. Were there times in our 8 weeks when Dusty was a little nervous and Dallas might have been a little scared? Yes, there was. And when we see that, what we got to remember is when we are in those times of trouble, we need to trust God's plan for our lives, like our memory verse says. Remember, good plans, okay, for those who love Him. And basically, as Christ followers, our goal should be to follow God's plan for our lives. We've talked a lot about what is God's plan for my life. Keep talking to God. Ask Him, God, what do you want me to do? When you wake up in the morning, before you get things going, say, God, what it is that you want me to do today. Then you will be likely to follow God's plan. And then when you start to think about things you do during the day, let's start thinking about, you know what? Would this plan be good for God and something He'd want me to do? Or maybe something God wouldn't want me to do? Because a lot of times we're tempted maybe to do things that are against God's plan. And you know what? That's not what He wants us to do. So it's simple. If that thing is against that, we don't do it. It's that easy. So times may get tough, just like it did on the trail for the fellas, just like it will in your life. But remember, let's follow God's plan. We're going to close out with some worship, some music, some praise. Enjoy the worship time, and we will see you next week with a brand new series. And guess what? My accent will be gone by then.
I've heard 1,000 stories of what they think you're like, but I've heard the tender whisper of love in the dead of night, and you tell me that you're pleased and that I'm never alone. You're a good, good father. It's who you are. It's who you are. It's who you are, and I'm loved by you. It's who I am. It's who I am. It's who I am. I've seen many searching for answers far and wide, but I know we're all searching for answers. Only you provide, 'cause you know just what we need before we say a word. You're a good, good father. It's who you are. It's who you are. It's who you are, and I'm loved by you. It's who I am. It's who I am. It's who I am. Because you are perfect in all of your ways. You are perfect in all of your ways. You are perfect in all of your ways to us. You are perfect in all of your ways. You are perfect in all of your ways. You are perfect in all of your ways to us. Oh, this love so undeniable, I can hardly speak. Peace so unexplainable, I can hardly think as you call.